Good afternoon. This is All India Radio. I'm Maria Albina Michael, and with me is Saira Mujtaba with the Midday News. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says zero-budget natural farming and the role of technology are crucial in transforming agriculture and agro-based clean energy. Addresses National Conclave on Natural Farming. On 50th Vijay Divas, Prime Minister merges four flames of Swarnim Vijay Mashal into the eternal flame at the National War Memorial. Parliament pays homage to the brave soldiers for their supreme sacrifice during the 1971 Indo-Pakistan War. President Ramnath Kovind participates in the Golden Jubilee celebrations of independence of Bangladesh in Dhaka. Government says about 36,500 kilometers of national highways will be constructed in the next 3 years. Both houses of Parliament adjourned till 2 p.m. Over 135 crore 25 lakh doses of COVID vaccine administered in the country so far. Recovery rate stands at 98.38%. Thousands of people being evacuated in central and southern parts of the Philippines as Typhoon Dry intensifies ahead of its expected landfall today. And in BWF World Championships, PV Sindhu, Kidambi Srikanth and HS Pranoy to play their respective pre-quarterfinals at Huelva in Spain today. As India marches towards administering 150 crore vaccine doses against COVID-19, news about the new corona variant is a cause of concern. In this situation, we appeal to our listeners to get fully vaccinated at the earliest and help others get vaccinated. Please continue to follow these 3 simple steps to stay safe. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. For any COVID-related information and guidance, contact national helpline numbers 011-239-78046 and 1075. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has emphasized on various issues of agriculture and food processing, including zero-budget natural farming. He was addressing the valedictory function of National Conclave on Agriculture and Food Processing via video conferencing held during the pre-Vibrant Gujarat Summit at Anand. The Prime Minister said that zero-budget natural farming and the role of technology are crucial in transforming agriculture and agro-based clean energy.
एग्रीकल्चर के अलग अलग आयाम हो, फूड प्रोसेसिंग हो, नेचुरल फार्मिंग हो, ये विषय 21वीं सदी में भारतीय कृषि का कायाकल्प करने में बहुत मदद करेंगे। इस कॉन्क्लेव के दौरान यहाँ हजारों करोड़ रुपए के समझौते, उसकी भी चर्चा हुई, उसका भी प्रगति हुई है। इनमें भी इथेनॉल, ऑर्गेनिक फार्मिंग और फूड प्रोसेसिंग को लेकर जो उत्साह दिखा है, नई संभावनाओं को विस्तार देता है। गुजरात में हमने टेक्नोलॉजी और नेचुरल फार्मिंग में तालमेल के जो प्रयोग किए थे, वो पूरे देश को दिशा दिखा रहे हैं।
Mr. Modi said that more than 8 crore farmers of the country have joined this movement of natural farming. He said that farmers across the country will benefit from the outcome of this conclave.
आजादी के अमृत महोत्सव में आज समय अतीत के अवलोकन का, उनके अनुभवों से सीख लेकर नए मार्ग बनाने का भी है। आजादी के बाद के दशकों में जिस तरह देश में खेती हुई, जिस दिशा में बढ़ी, वो हम सबने बहुत बारीकी से देखा है। अब आजादी के 100वें वर्ष तक का जो हमारा सफर है, वो नई आवश्यकताओं, नई चुनौतियों के अनुसार अपनी खेती को ढालने का है।
The 3-day summit is being held at Anand in Gujarat. The pre-Vibrant Gujarat Summit began on Tuesday with a focus on various farm issues. Addressing the conclave, Union Home Minister Amit Shah said that the government has been driven by Prime Minister Narendra Modi's vision for farmers' welfare. He said that the government has been committed towards ensuring an increase in productivity so that farmers are able to maximize their agricultural potential. He said that the government has initiated several measures to transform and increase farmers' income. Efforts are underway to promote and support initiatives leading to sustainability of the system, cost reduction, market access, and better value realization to farmers.
देश के प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी इस संगोष्ठी के प्रेरणा स्रोत। उन्होंने ही पूरे देश भर में प्राकृतिक खेती, कुदरती खेती को किसान अपनाए, इसके लिए एक मुहिम को गति देने का निश्चय भी किया है और एक अपील भी की है। और परिणाम है कि देश भर में लाखों किसान आज प्राकृतिक खेती को धीरे धीरे अपना रहे हैं। इसके लाभों से लाभान्वित होते देखकर अनेकानेक किसान इसके प्रयोग को आगे बढ़ा रहे हैं।
Governor of Gujarat, Acharya Devavrat, has said that zero-budget natural farming is a promising tool to minimize the dependence of farmers on purchased inputs and reduces the cost of agriculture by relying on traditional field-based technologies which lead to improve the soil health. Addressing the conclave, he said that desi cow and its dung and urine play an important role from which various inputs are made on the farm and provide necessary nutrients to the soil. Union Agriculture Minister Narendra Singh Tomar, Gujarat Chief Minister Bhupendra Patel and Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath are also present on this occasion. The three-day pre-Vibrant Gujarat Summit conclave has been attended by more than 5,000 farmers, with thousands others connecting virtually from across the country.
On the occasion of the 50th Vijay Divas, Prime Minister Narendra Modi participated in the homage and reception ceremony of Swarnim Vijay Mashals at the National War Memorial in New Delhi this morning. On the occasion, Prime Minister laid a wreath at the National War Memorial. Mr. Modi merged the four flames which traversed along different directions since last year with the eternal flame at the National War Memorial. On this day last year, as part of Swarnim Vijay Varsh celebrations to commemorate 50 years of India's victory in the 1971 war and formation of Bangladesh, the Prime Minister had lit the Swarnim Vijay Mashal from the eternal flame at the National War Memorial. These four flames traversed across the length and breadth of the country, including to Siachen, Kanyakumari, Andaman and Nicobar Islands, Longewala, Rann of Kutch and Agartala. The flames were also taken to key battle areas and to the houses of gallantry award winners and veterans of 1971 war. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh unveiled an India Post Special Day cover and a commemorative stamp marking the Golden Jubilee of India's victory during the 1971 Indo-Pak War in New Delhi today. The day is the culmination of year-long Swarnim Vijay Varsh celebrations which began in December last year. The stamp commemorates the iconic event in the history of the Indian subcontinent. As its centerpiece, the stamp carries the Swarnim Vijay Varsh logo designed by Lieutenant Commander Kushal Chandrasekhar of the Indian Navy, which was selected during an all-India competition held in October and November last year. The stamp also commemorates the spirit of jointmanship displayed by the Indian Armed Forces as well as the Indo-Bangla Forces. With the launch of the Swarnim Vijay Varsh stamp, India celebrates the professionalism and valor of its armed forces and reaffirms its commitment to its old friend and close neighbor, Bangladesh.
Parliament today remembered the supreme sacrifices of the brave soldiers during the 1971 Indo-Pakistan War. When the House met for the day, Rajya Sabha Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu said today is the 50th anniversary of Vijay Divas. He said, on this day in 1971, our valiant and fearless soldiers got victory against Pakistan, which led to the formation of Bangladesh as a new nation. He said India and Bangladesh is having a friendly relation since then, and India desires to further strengthen the good relation with Bangladesh. He said the valor of the country's armed forces still inspires the people. As the Lok Sabha met for the day, Speaker Om Birla led the House in remembering the sacrifices made by the armed forces. He said courage of armed forces continues to inspire people of the country. Lok Sabha also observed silence on the demise of Group Captain Varun Singh, who succumbed to injuries sustained in a chopper crash on the 8th of this month. President Ramnath Kovind today attended the 50th Vijay Divas celebrations of Bangladesh. The President, who was the guest of honor, observed the marching contingents at the National Parade Ground in Dhaka. On this occasion, a tri-services contingent from the Indian Armed Forces also participated in the parade. Both countries celebrate 16th December as Victory Day to mark the victory of the Indian Army and Mukti Bahini over Pakistan in the fight for the independence of Bangladesh. In the evening, Mr. Kovind and the First Lady, Savita Kovind, will participate in the Independence Day celebrations and the concluding ceremony of the birth centenary celebrations of Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman in the Parliament Jatiya Sangsad. Here, the President will deliver a speech as a guest of honour. The President, Kovind, is scheduled to meet the liberation war fighters of Bangladesh called Mukti Jodhas as well as Indian veterans. He will also interact with a cross-section of Bangladeshi society and visit places of cultural and historical importance in Dhaka before returning to India tomorrow. More from our correspondent.
President Ram Nath Kovind, as guest of honor, attended the Vijay Divas parade in Dhaka, marking the golden jubilee of the independence of Bangladesh. To mark the joint efforts of the Indian Army and Mukti Bahini in the Bangladesh Liberation War, Colonel Vinay Sadasivan led the 122-membered tri-services contingent from the Indian Armed Forces. Wing Commander T. Asha Jyotirmai, paratrooper from the Indian Air Force, also joined the Bangladeshi parajumpers carrying the Indian tricolour, marking the sacrifices of soldiers of the Indian Army who lost lives in the Liberation War. The first visit of Mr. Kovind to Bangladesh is of high importance as both countries are also celebrating the golden jubilee of their diplomatic ties along with the golden jubilee of independence of Bangladesh. Rajesh Jha with Sanjeev Kumar Singh for AIR News, Dhaka.
The Indo-Bangladesh Friendship Pipeline carrying high-speed diesel from Numaligarh refinery in India to Bangladesh will be completed next year. Briefing the media in Dhaka yesterday, Foreign Secretary Harshvardhan Shringla said, the pipeline from Siliguri to Parbatipur is a unique project that enables India and Bangladesh to integrate their energy requirements.
This is a very, very unique and significant pipeline that enables us to integrate our energy requirements. This will use high-speed diesel from Numaligarh refineries from Siliguri into Parbatipur. This project is coming on stream. This is progressing very well, and I understand that we will be in a position to inaugurate it next year.
Talking about the future course of ties between India and Bangladesh, Mr. Shringla said both countries are looking to expand ties in cutting-edge areas like green technologies, renewable energy, startups, IT and digital platforms, which are of interest to the younger generation and provide employment. Foreign Secretary highlighted the excellent cooperation between India and Bangladesh in combating the COVID pandemic. Foreign Secretary said, economic and trade ties between India and Bangladesh are growing with an impressive 14% growth in bilateral trade on a year-to-year basis. You are listening to the Midday News on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says zero-budget natural farming and role of technology are crucial in transforming agriculture and agro-based clean energy. Addresses National Conclave on Natural Farming. On 50th Vijay Divas, Prime Minister merges 4 flames of Swarnim Vijay Mashal into the eternal flame at the National War Memorial. Parliament pays homage to the brave soldiers for their supreme sacrifice during the 1971 Indo-Pakistan War. President Kovind participates in the Golden Jubilee celebrations of independence of Bangladesh in Dhaka. Government says about 36,500 kilometers of national highways will be constructed in the next 3 years. Both houses of Parliament adjourned for the day. Over 135 crore 25 lakh doses of COVID vaccine administered in the country so far. Recovery rate stands at 98.38%. Thousands of people being evacuated in central and southern parts of the Philippines as Typhoon Rai intensifies ahead of its expected landfall today. And in BWF World Championships, PV Sindhu, Kidambi Srikanth and HS Pranoy to play their respective pre-quarterfinals at Uelva in Spain today. For quick news updates around the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alert. चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो कुछ वादा करते हैं, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे.
Both the houses of parliament have been adjourned for the day. As soon as the Lok Sabha met for the day, Congress, TMC and DMK members trooped into the well of the House demanding removal of Ajay Mishra from the Council of Ministers. Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla tried to run the question hour amid constant sloganeering by the opposition members in the well. When the Speaker allowed Congress leader Rahul Gandhi to speak, he demanded Ajay Mishra should be sacked from the Council of Ministers. The Speaker, Om Birla, appealed to the agitating members to let the House run. Amid the din, the Speaker tried to run the question hour, but in vain. Amidst the chaotic scene, the Speaker adjourned the House till 2 p.m. As the situation remained unchanged, when the House met at 2 p.m., it was adjourned for the day. In the Rajya Sabha, Leader of Opposition Mallikarjun Kharge wanted to raise the issue under Rule 267. Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu disallowed to raise it and adjourned the House till 2 p.m. and then for the day. Suspended opposition members of Rajya Sabha continue to stage protests in front of the statue of Mahatma Gandhi in the Parliament complex. The MPs have been demanding revocation of their suspension. The MPs were suspended on the first day of the current session for their unruly behaviour in the upper house during the monsoon session.
Parliamentary Affairs Minister Prahlad Joshi today criticized the opposition members for not allowing the conduct of the houses properly. Talking to reporters outside the Parliament this morning, Mr. Joshi said the government is ready to debate on the issues of public interest and seeks constructive suggestions from the opposition.
कुछ भी है तो कंस्ट्रक्टिव सजेशन वो कृपया देने दो। चर्चा करने के लिए हम आह्वान कर रहे हैं। कुछ बहाना बना के पार्लियामेंट न चलाने देना ये बिल्कुल ठीक नहीं है। पार्लियामेंट चर्चा के लिए, डिबेट के लिए है। तो ये पूरा पार्लियामेंट का जो मूल काम है वही काम को वो ध्वस्त कर रहे हैं, ये ठीक नहीं है।
On the opposition's demand of sacking of Minister of State for Home Ajay Mishra Taini, the minister said the matter is sub judice and Supreme Court is monitoring the investigation process. About 36,500 kilometers of national highways will be constructed in the next 3 years. In a written reply in Lok Sabha today, Road Transport and Highways Minister Nitin Gadkari said the government has fixed the target of construction of 12,000 kilometers in the current financial year. Replying to another query, the minister said several steps have been taken by the government to monitor and check the construction quality and work progress of national highways. He said the government holds regular review meetings with state governments and concerned agencies to ensure completion of projects within a stipulated time.
The Road Transport and Highways Ministry has issued letters to Chief Secretaries of all the states and all Engineers-in-Chief and all Project Directors of Ministry for removal of accident spots on national highways as per public reports. Replying to questions in the Lok Sabha, Road Transport and Highways Minister Nitin Gadkari said there are many road accident spots on national highways observed by state police departments every year, which are although not qualified to be declared as road accident black spots, as the number of casualties at these locations are very less. He said in order to prevent such accident spots becoming vulnerable to black spots by causing more accidents, the ministry has decided to take proactive action by studying the reasons of accident for all such locations. More than 135 crore 25 lakh COVID vaccine doses have been administered in the country so far under the nationwide vaccination drive. Health Ministry said more than 60 lakh doses were administered in the last 24 hours. In the same period, 7,974 new cases were reported in the country. India's active caseload stands at 1,87,245. The active cases account for less than 1% of total cases and is currently at 0.25%, the lowest since March 2020. A total of 7,948 people recovered in the last 24 hours. The recovery rate is currently at 98.38%, the highest since March 2020.
Kerala Health Minister Veena George has informed that 4 more cases of the new COVID variant Omicron have been confirmed in the state. With this, the total tally of Omicron cases in the state has reached 5. 2 of the 4 new cases are the wife and mother-in-law of the Ernakulam native, who was the first to be tested positive for the Omicron variant in the state. Of the other 2, one is a Thiruvananthapuram native who has come back from the UK, and the other is an Ernakulam native who returned from Congo. Briefing the media yesterday, State Health Minister said that contacts of all the infected persons were being identified and the health condition of all persons are satisfactory. The World Health Organization has said preliminary evidence indicates that COVID-19 vaccines may be less effective against infection and transmission linked to the Omicron coronavirus variant. The WHO in its latest update said that more data is needed to better understand the extent to which Omicron may evade immunity derived from either vaccines or previous infection. Echoing comments made by WHO officials at a briefing, the UN Health Body said, as a result of this, the overall risk related to the new variant of the concern, Omicron, remains very high.
And now let's listen to our special program, Azadi Ka Safar, highlighting the importance of the day during the freedom struggle.
आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव।
Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. Birth of a Nation. India's glorious freedom struggle is one of the greatest struggles the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse of the struggle every day.
In today's episode, we remember educationist, writer and journalist Umesh Chandra Datta, who was born on the 16th of December 1840 in the South 24 Parganas. He was a pioneer Brahmo Samaj activist who left his mark in various fields of society.
Umesh Chandra joined Brahmo Samaj in 1859 and very soon came close to Keshav Chandra Sen and firmly established the Brahmo Samaj in Harinavi, West Bengal. When the Brahmo Samaj was divided into two sections, Umesh Chandra became one of the popular activists of the section under Keshav Chandra Sen. In 1863, Umesh Chandra, along with a few other young activists, established the Bama Bodhini Sabha. The main objective of this Sabha was to educate and uplift the condition of Bama, or women, in the society. He edited the Bama Bodhini Patrika for 40 years till 1902. This newspaper had an important role in the emancipation of women and spread of female education. The Bama Bodhini Patrika continued till 1922. He also edited two weeklies, the Dharma Sadho and Bharat Sanskarak.
Umesh Chandra had taught in several schools. In 1893, he opened a school for the deaf and dumb at Monikpala in Kolkata. He was a member of the Executive Committee of Bethune College in Kolkata and a member of the Senate of Kolkata University, and thus he contributed a lot to these institutions. Umesh Chandra led a very simple life, and hence he was called an ascetic by people. He died in 1907. We salute this great reformer who worked for women's upliftment and their education.
We also remember advocate of democracy and a staunch supporter of empowerment of the depressed classes, Panaganti Ramaraya Ningar, who left us on 16th of December 1928. Also known as Raja of Panagal, Ramaraya Ningar was one of the founder members of the Justice Party and the Premier of Madras Presidency from 11th of July 1921 to the 3rd of December 1926.
Ramaraya Ningar was born into an aristocratic family of Kalahasti, Andhra Pradesh. His public life began when he was selected as member of North Arcot District Board. In 1912, he became a member of the Imperial Legislative Council in Delhi. In 1918, he was awarded the title of Diwan Bahadur. He was also made a member of the Imperial War Council the same year. Back in Madras, meanwhile, the non-Brahmin movement was gaining momentum. With the formation of the Justice Party, Ramaraya Ningar joined it and was soon recognized as one of its leading lights. He was sent to England to depose before a parliamentary committee on the condition of the non-Brahmins in South India. in 1921, Ramaraya Ningar became the Chief Minister.
The Panagal administration was known for some far-reaching reforms. Reservation and government jobs was brought in, thereby putting Madras on the route to inclusivity. The administration of temples and mutts came under a newly formed Hindu Religious Endowments Board. Panaganti Ramaraya Ningar continued to remain active in politics and served as the president of the Justice Party until his death on the 16th of December 1928. We salute this great Indian.
That brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. See you in the next episode tomorrow.
AIR News will broadcast a special roundup on the unsung heroes of the Indian freedom movement in our series Veer Gatha at 4:45 p.m. today in the program Parikrama.
आजादी के अमृत महोत्सव के पावन अवसर पर आकाशवाणी समाचार के कार्यक्रम परिक्रमा में बृहस्पतिवार को शाम 4:45 पर सुनिए देश की आजादी में अपना अमूल्य योगदान देने वाले भारतीय स्वतंत्रता संग्राम के सेनानियों की वीर गाथा।
Best wishes to all consumers for Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Hallmark ensures purity of gold. Always purchase hallmarked gold jewelry. For any consumer-related complaints, please contact National Consumer Helpline toll-free number 14404. Issued in public interest by Department of Consumer Affairs, Government of India. Jago Grahak Jago.
In the Philippines, tens of thousands of people are being evacuated from their homes in central and southern parts of the country as a powerful typhoon quickly gathers strength ahead of its expected landfall. The latest report from the Philippine Weather Bureau, PAGASA, on this morning said that Typhoon Rai is undergoing rapid intensification as it barrels towards the island province of Dinagat in the mid-eastern section of the country. As of 7:30 a.m. Indian Standard Time, the Philippine Met Office said wind speed has accelerated to 185 kilometers per hour near the center with a speed of up to 230 kilometers per hour moving west-northwest. It warned of very destructive typhoon force winds in some parts of the country within the next 12 hours.
Indian shuttlers PV Sindhu, HS Pranoy, Kidambi Shrikant, Lakshya Sen and men's doubles pair of Satvik Sairaj, Chirag Shetty will play their respective pre-quarter-finals at the BWF World Championships at Huelva in Spain today. Reigning world champion Sindhu will face Pompavi Chochuang of Thailand in the women's singles pre-quarter-finals. In the men's singles, former world number 1 Shrikant will take on Lu Guangzhou of China, while Lakshya Sen will face Kevin Cordon of Guatemala and Pranoy will play against Rasmus Gemk of Denmark. In the men's doubles 8 seeds, Satvik Sairaj Ranki Reddy and Chirag Shetty will face 9 seeds Ong Yeo Sin and Teo Ee Hee of Malaysia in the pre-quarter final. World number 21 women's doubles duo Ashwini Ponappa and Siki Reddy will meet 6 seeds Shonkal Phan Kitarkarul and Rawinda Prorongjae in the pre-quarter finals.
Now let us take a look at the weather update for the day. The national capital Delhi is expected to be partly cloudy sky with very light rain or drizzle towards evening or night. Mumbai is likely to have mainly clear sky. Chennai is likely to have partly cloudy sky. Kolkata will have mainly clear sky. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says zero-budget natural farming and the role of technology are crucial in transforming agriculture and agro-based clean energy, addresses National Conclave on Natural Farming. On 50th Vijay Divas, Prime Minister merges 4 flames of Swarnim Vijay Mashal into the eternal flame at the National War Memorial. Parliament pays homage to the brave soldiers for their supreme sacrifice during the 1971 Indo-Pakistan War. President Ramnath Kovind participates in the Golden Jubilee celebrations of independence of Bangladesh in Dhaka. Government says about 36,500 kilometers of national highways will be constructed in the next 3 years. Both houses of Parliament adjourned for the day. Over 135 crore 25 lakh doses of COVID vaccine administered in the country so far. Recovery rate stands at 98.38%. And in BWF World Championships, PV Sindhu, Kidambi Srikanth and HS Pranoy to play their respective pre-quarterfinals at Huelva in Spain today. And with that, we end the midday news.